It is very amazing that Bobby even managed to win this position against Taimanov in their candidates match. It was the second game, but it's already the second adjournment, and it was only played after Taimanov had traumatically lost the third game, and so this gave him the final blow somehow. As usually, the Soviet analysis of adjourned games was extremely good, and black somehow can't lose here. Tal is even quoted as saying that I, and not only I, would not have played on in this position, whatever the tournament situation. It is a pure waste of time, but Fischer plays on to the bare kings. Yeah, and of course, Bobby doesn't risk anything by playing on here with white. Okay, for the moment, everything is fine for Taimanov. And now he has a decision. What to do? And it's probably easier to trade down the rook endgame, especially as it was adjournment analysis. And here we have a book draw. Either the pawn endgame is drawn, or the king can cross over in front of the g-pawn, and then it's completely drawn, of course. So the rook ending would have been probably the better practical decision. As with the minor pieces, white still has some practical chances to create problems. But okay, now there's this series of checks, and the only real way to escape it is to offer a rook exchange. And this, of course, also leads to a drawn position. But now black has 3 drawing moves, and Taimanov played king e4, which loses. What would you prefer? King d4 and king d6 draw, but maybe easiest is knight d3 to emphasize the fact that white doesn't have the queening square of the rook's pawn, so that the knight can even be sacrificed if the king manages to reach the saving corner in time, which is the case here. And so this is probably easiest from a practical point of view. But in the game, Taimanov chose king e4. If something goes wrong, then somehow everything goes wrong. Bobby found the only winning move. Can you do the same? Bishop c8, and it's over. The bishop leaves the sphere of influence of the knight, and now black is just not in time. Really amazing. Yeah, after knight g4 check, Bobby would have played king g7, and then white is winning. And it doesn't matter here that the bishop doesn't control the queening square of the rook's pawn, but the rook's pawn is the most dangerous enemy of the knight. This does count. So Taimanov tries to stop it on h7, but Fischer stops this plan. And nothing can be done. Zugzwang, a typical weapon against the knight. And then now it's a real nightmare for Taimanov. And so he resigned. Yeah, it's really amazing how Bobby managed to win these endgames with rook and light squared bishop against rook and knight. Okay, this should be a draw, of course, but just play on, and the practical problems are never to be underestimated, even in such an adjourned game. And Bobby had a lot of energy and always fought to the end, and here it was good that he exhausted Taimanov by continuing to play. And this was the reason why he could win the match in the end with 6-0.